if she can't. 'Cause I'm- Emily, can you hear us okay?
Bridge anyway, but.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Yeah, really good.
Get out of your way.
Fantastic.
Joe, I think we're ready whenever you are.
Can you hear me okay? Okay. Good evening.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Meridian Parks and Recreation Commission meeting for February 11th, 2026. The time is 4:01. Garrett, could you please take roll?
Absolutely. So, Dom Gelsomino is here in the audience, which we'll be discussing here in a minute. Jennifer Bobo looks like is absent. Mandy Roberts,
Present.
Terry Dennington, Alan Helms,
Here.
Joe Greer,
Present.
Helen Moscolo, and Torrin Taylor.
Okay. Thank you. The next on the agenda is an adoption of the agenda. Could I get someone to adopt the agenda?
Madam Chair, I would like to propose that we adopt the agenda.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'll second that amendment.
Okay, Member Roberts makes the motion and Member Helms seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next on the agenda is an approval of the meeting minutes for January 14th, 2026.
Yes, Chair Greer, I would like to propose that we approve the minutes from the January 14th, 2026 meeting.
Thank you, Member Roberts. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, a second by Member Dennington. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The minutes are approved. Next we have announcements. And the first person up is our Meridian Parks and Rec Commissioner, Don Gelsomino, being introduced, I am guessing, or Garrett, you are on the agenda item as well.
Yes, commissioners, thanks for having us tonight. Really, I'm here to really talk about Dom. Dom took a position on the Planning and Zoning Commission and is stepping down and stepping away from the Parks and Rec Commission. So I just wanted to recognize Dom. Dom put in 8 years of service on the Parks and Rec Commission. And it's going to be really hard to beat all the accolades that I want to give him because council did an awesome job last night in recognizing Dom. If you guys had the opportunity to listen to that or hear it or want to go back and listen to it, every council person was able to say a little bit about Dom and how they appreciate what he's done for the Parks and Rec Commission, which we are as well. I always remember Dom in the last 8 years as being a very dependable commissioner. What do you need? He's always willing to go the extra mile, do extra things on bike tours, give his input, you name it, from dog park amenities to pollinators to just about anything. And how can you forget the Grinch, right? I mean, always willing to help out. So really, we wanted to recognize Dom. I wish we had a little plaque for him, but we'll get to him. Those types of things. But we really just wanted to take this time to recognize Dom, appreciate Dom for the last 8 years of what he's done for us. And with that, I'll let Dom say anything if he wants to.
Thank you, Garrett. Madam Chair, Commissioners, it has been an absolute privilege of serving with you over the last 8 years. I began my time as a commissioner with a goal in mind and a passion for parks, dog parks, environmental stewardship, making sure that our community garden was vibrant, was supported, and had an advocate, and as many advocates on the commission as possible, and as many opportunities to expand and grow as our city has. Working with each of you over the last 8 years has been an incredible experience. Each of you has brought your own unique flavor and value to the commission. And in fact, at every interview for every candidate that that the mayor and I have interviewed to fill myself and Commissioner Sando's vacant seat, I would bring up what each of you have brought and continue to bring to this commission as an introduction to then question what will the candidate who is being interviewed will bring to this commission. And I look forward for the next 2 commissioners to bring their own unique voices and flavors to this commission. No accomplishment that this commission has achieved over the last 8 years is done by any one commissioner. It is done as a team, and it is done as a unit. And so everything we've accomplished and brought forth for the benefit of the city it has been just one contribution that we have made as a whole body. And so, this isn't goodbye. I will continue to coordinate with Renee on Christmas activities and looking for a face painter. So if you have any eyes, ears open out there for face painters who are relatively affordable, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. But with that, I thank you for the last 8 years. And I look forward to working with you in the new capacity that I'll be taking on starting next week. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dom. I'd like to say a few things. I already shed a few tears. I was in the meeting when you interviewed, I believe, I think you wore a purple suit in front with Mayor Tammy. And we were really excited to have somebody with your energy on the commission at that time because it was a more seasoned crowd. And you haven't just brought value to the commission, you've become a friend. And so I'm so proud of your work that you've done here, but I'm really proud of you for moving on to a commission that they're really lucky to have you. I'm really sad to see you go, but I'm so proud of you at the same time. So thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Chair Greer, may I say a few remarks? I just wanted to thank Dom. I came on to the commission when he was already here and had been for several years. And I really appreciated being mentored by you and just kind of following your patterns. And, you're just an upstanding commission member, great resource and, presence for all of us to follow. So I just want to thank you for that. And I wish you well on your next endeavor with the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Roberts, thank you. It has been an equal privilege.
Someone else? Yes. Member Pennington.
Yes. Dom, it's been great getting to know you. It's been kind of a shorter time, I think, but it was, I really enjoyed our time when we were out at Chateau, having conversations and just kind of getting to know you as a person. And then when we did our speed dating thing, got to get to know a little people, I mean, a little more about the people. So I appreciate your diligence in handling everything here as the chairman, doing such a great job. And it's just been great getting to know you. So thank you so much.
Commissioner Dennington, thank you so much. It has been an equal pleasure as well. You know, and that's as I mentioned to the mayor and council last night at the council meeting during the confirmation. I love parks. I love Parks and Rec. It wasn't for any other reason, but I'm a bookworm and I like to learn, and the opportunity to maybe take a step back from a leadership role and become more of a student again was an enticing opportunity. And so, but the two go hand in hand. Parks and planning, land use, they're all going to be working hand in hand. So I definitely see a future of working still together with the commission.
You're gonna have so much fun.
Madam Chair, man,
Yes.
I just want to echo what was said, Dom. I mean, I can remember meeting you before being on the Parks and Rec Board and I think at Mayor Tammy's house one time. But anyway, you're going to be missed and missed so much. I think I might just show up at some zoning and planning commission meetings just to complain and protest and throw some flags up and stuff like that. But anyway, just to let you know, we miss you.
Commissioner Helms, thank you. And, you know, I will always look forward to any updates and any suggestions you have with the golf course.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? He's probably like brand new.
Yeah.
Madam
Yeah, yes, please. Commissioner Muscalo, thank you so much. It was a pleasure interviewing you, and as I mentioned earlier in the year, introducing you, for Robert and I, it was a no-brainer. The experience and the uniqueness of your background, we felt would have brought a one-of-a-kind experience that we haven't had yet on the Parks Commission. So I look forward to hearing more of what you bring to this commission throughout the year. Madam Chair, I'll stand for any other questions or comments. Otherwise, thank you.
Anything?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah,
Quick question. Are you gonna still be the Grinch?
I will. So I'll be coordinating with Renee going forward. Like I said, anytime anyone who knows of an affordable face painter, that would be incredibly helpful. That'd be great. Yes,
You
thank you.
have
Because
a-
that's
A very realistic mask if you want to use it.
okay. Yeah, we'll connect. Yeah, last year was the one exception for family reasons, but going forward, it'll be a little bit more of a consistent comeback. Yeah. Thank you, Commissioner Taylor.
Yeah.
And thanks to your dad for his vote as well. So
Thank you so much, Dom.
thank you, Commissioner Greer. And I gotta come up.
Can give me a hug. As Dom's making his way up here, I also want it for the record to show that Commissioner Bobo is present at 4:09 PM. Oh,
Thank you, everyone.
okay. That's what's good at your fires. And next up, we have Ms. Shelley Houston with upcoming events.
Are we allowed to hug the commissioners? I don't know. Get HR on the line. Today, the little Scooby snack I brought you is a little two-sided flyer reminding you of our next few things. We're still kind of in the doldrums of winter, so there's not a lot of action. But the soonest thing is what we're probably the most excited about, and that's the community center groundbreaking on February 19th. will literally be out at the site, and there'll be shovels and hard hats and the little pile of dirt. And it'll be so exciting out standing in the field there. So you're certainly welcome to attend. It's open to the public. So you can invite anyone that's interested or bring someone along. But there's some preliminary work maybe going on out there already, some preparatory things, and a fence will go up with a kind of interpretive sign that says coming soon. Our cute little slogan is "We're building community," kind of a play on words, community and community center. So anyway, the groundbreaking's on the 19th. We'd love to see you if you're able, February 19th at 1:30. In April, we're going to team up with Boise Parks and Rec and do something called the City Nature Challenge. It's a couple day period, like a weekend, where people of all ages are encouraged to download the iNaturalist app on their cell phone or smartphone, and then to observe the plants and insects and the different, living things they observe in their surroundings. And it's being done all across the country. It's kind of a way just to measure the biodiversity of all the marvelous things in the natural world. And so that's happening. And then we're not doing our own group event this year because we're kind of observing and learning a little more about it. But on Friday, April 24th, down there at the very bottom at 1 o'clock, there's going to be a little nature walk at Catherine Albertson Park, where people who are experts will show us how to use this iNaturalist app and maybe point out some things on how it's done. So anyway, that's something you could look into. CityNatureChallenge.org is the website. And we're doing it all as Ada County. So there's not a separate Meridian site or a Boise site. It's called Ada County. So if that interests you, that's kind of cool. If you flip it over, we got Arbor Day celebration. Now this isn't open to the public because we don't like to invite strangers onto the schoolyard. That's a little creepy nowadays, but you're certainly welcome. The mayor and Steve and the rest of us will be there. That's Tuesday, May 5th. We'll be planting a tree at 1:30 at Peregrine Elementary over on Waltman Street. And so it's kind of cute. It's like a little student assembly, and we ask them some trivia questions and toss them some Frisbees. And we just, it's all yay trees. So that's a fun thing to do. And then maybe the most important with summer coming, job openings. We've got tons of seasonal positions we really need to fill. Some can be for people, older teens, like, being a lifeguard, / swim instructor, or recreational camp counselors for Camp Maridamu or the outdoor adventure camp. That can be, 17 years and up. So we'll also need seasonal groundskeepers to keep the parks looking fluffed and puffed. Lakeview Golf Course will have tons of positions. And we always need adult sports scorekeepers year round, but especially in the summer because our leagues are so big and vibrant. So these are the next few things I'd have you keep on your radar, and feel free to join us if any of these appeal to you. As always, if you have any questions or worries, you just give me a call and say, "Hey, Shell, remind me what's the dealio about this," and I'll fill you in. We've got a lot of exciting things coming for summer. We're still ironing out details, so we'll get to them as we move a little closer. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Any questions, comments, anything at all?
Do you have any questions for Shelley?
Are we good
Yeah,
for now?
I have a question. Can we change Arbor Day to yay trees? Because when you said that, I was like,
Change it to what?
yay trees.
Oh, yay
It's like-
trees.
yeah, you're like,
Yeah,
"Yay
Steve
trees."
Sidaway has a tree shirt that says yay trees, and
Right?
it's
I know. I love
endless fascination. Yeah, yay trees. That could be our motto.
it.
Anyway, think about joining us for these events. And if you can't, we totally understand that they're kind of during some work days. But anyhow, and if you have any questions, just give me a ringy dingy. Thanks. And
Thank you.
did Dom, Dom's on early retirement from this.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was
Anyway, I appreciate Dom as well. So, and your kind words to him. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shelley. Okay, next we have new business, and tonight we have the Kuna Parks and Recreation update with Chris Regley? for the first time.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. For the record, Chris Regley, City of Cuna Parks and Rec, 371 West Short Line Road, Cuna, Idaho, 83634. I've been asked to come and share a little bit of what we've got going on south of your guys' town with as far as pathways, some expansion projects we got coming up in this year and into the following. The presentation or the slides I brought, I've already had the chance to share with your Parks Department with Kim Warren and Steve Sidway. So we had a nice conversation, so I'll jump right into it. Just to kind of go over the talking points, what I brought with me, we're going to start with our master plan, types of pathways that we require our city developers to put in as they develop properties, and then a few of our upcoming projects. Oops. Primary pathways, these are spelled out in our park standards and requirements. These are what we like to see developers put in or that we would put in to work on expanding our existing green belt. We like to see them at 10 feet because of access availability for EMS or just maintenance and repairs. Secondary pathways provide circulation routes and enhance aesthetic qualities. We sometimes still have those at 10, but we spell it out that they can be 6 feet. And then our third one is mostly just kind of like getting to a destination pathway, maybe a gazebo down on our creek or some other feature. This is our master plan, and I apologize. The very top of it where it butts up to your guys' city is a little cut off, but we kind of developed this based on what our canals are doing in our city. It sounds like the similar process you guys are having here. The green is Indian Creek, the one that comes just under the heart of city or heart of Cuna. We are constantly trying to make sure that the developers that are coming in are following our guidelines and sticking to the plans that we have in place as far as adding on to these. Like I'm sure you guys have the same thing here. It's a puzzle board. We try to get pieces where we can. We'll try to connect them when we can. It's going to take, it just takes some time. But I know in our discussion with your department, we were looking at potentially maybe making some changes on our end. Looks like Linder is going to be more of a popular route for your guys' bike paths and walking paths. So we're looking into that. This is Helen Zamzo Park. This is one of the projects we are working on. Right now we're in phase 2 of it. 2 years ago and last year, we were able to put the ball fields in, all the concrete surrounding the 2 sport fields. Phase 2 this year is going to consist of the parking lot and the access to Short Line and then to the south to the neighborhood. From top view, this is actually the east. North would be on the left-hand side. It's a big project. We're building all of it in-house, and we're very excited for it. This one is a little outdated. We have made some changes to it. The playground, we have now relocated that to be up closer to the pickleball courts. And then a lot of what you see on the left side, which would be the north side, is actually still, we're kind of phasing a lot of that out just because we were able to move things closer to keep it closer to the center of the fields. Also, the cul-de-sac on the east side or south side, I should say, right side of your screen is now going to be just an additional parking lot. This is another project we've got coming up this year. This was provided to us. This is going to be Tribute Park, or we're actually going to call it Valor Park. This is out towards Cloverdale, the Falcon Crest golf course out there. This is a 10-acre park, and this is phase 1, and we're working on this one right now. Matter of fact, this one ate up a lot of my time today. We're going to have a good sized ramada with bathrooms, a 1,300 to 1,400 square foot playground area, 2 full-size soccer fields, and then 2 youth soccer fields, and then also the dog park. Again, this is all in phase 1. The following year, we're going to jump into phase two, which will actually have pickleball courts, tennis courts, basketball courts. We're looking at potentially doing a pump track on this location as well. But this one's coming together real fast. So we're excited for this one as well. This is the National Fitness Campaign. We are working with them right now. We were able to get a $30,000 grant, and all said and done, it's about a $400,000 project. So the city's obligated to $370,000 of it. We're going to be putting this kind of right in the middle of our town. I'll show you here on the slides. This is the layout that we've gone with, or we've decided they'd make them different options on these, but I mean, we've went with the dual-sided one for our community. And this is what we're looking at for a location. This is our existing CUNA skate park. Just to the left of this building that's labeled 415, where this white pickup is, that's where the sports complex is going to go. Once that's in, we're going to be updating a lot of the stuff around there, expanding on the skate park, give it kind of more of a novice entry level options there, public restrooms, parking area. We've got a lot of exciting ideas for this part of our town. This is in the center of CUNA, old downtown, kind of right off of our, obviously, as you can see, it's right off of our green belt. So it's a centralized location. We want to start working on amping it up, making it more friendly to our community. This is another project that we have coming up this year. As you can see, it's actually a school and a park. The developer has given us 5 acres of this piece, and we are still working with these plans. It shows tennis courts, pickleball courts, basketball courts, playground, like many other parks. But we're still working on going through some details with him as far as the layout of it and how that's going to work with the school being right next door and making some sort of agreement with them. This is another one, same developer that we're looking at doing here also this coming year. And again, we're still going through some of the layouts of this park before we get to, we haven't got too far on this one actually yet, but one of the first one I just showed you was actually going to be south of CUNA. This one's going to be just north of CUNA. And that's really it. I just ran through it real fast. That's kind of what we've got going on out there. If I have really nothing else, so I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you, Chris. It looks, I mean, that's a lot of exciting new projects for CUNA.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, that is really exciting. Having lived here most of my life. I'm like, wow, CUNA's getting it. Does anybody have any questions? Yes. Member Bobo?
I noticed you have a lot of pickleball courts in your parks. Is it
Yeah.
as in demand as it is here in Meridian? Does everyone?
It is.
The ones you have stay pretty busy?
It is. So this last year, we just put in our second facility with pickleball courts. And I think people couldn't ask for it to get done fast enough. The ones that we had in there before are constantly busy. It is, it's good and bad, it brings its challenges, but yeah, pickleball came into CUNA, like I'm sure everywhere else, like a storm. Before I would have said, what's pickleball? And then all of a sudden it was just everywhere. So yeah, we're dealing with its expansion.
Anybody else? Yes. Member Dennington?
Yes, thank you for your presentation. It was great seeing all the projects and things that you have going on. I had a couple of questions on, and I don't know if you can go back to the screens or not. It was on your second project that you were talking about. I was just wondering, kind of looking at,
This one here?
I think that, I'm just thinking this, I was just wondering about the parking. It seemed like there was another one with a picture. Is this a second project?
This is the first one that I discussed. This is Helen Zamzo Park Sports Complex.
No, I was looking for the one that, it just didn't look like there was a lot of parking for everything that you had there. And I was just wondering where the parking was, and maybe it was just off screen.
Oh, okay. It may be this one. This one actually does call for, it doesn't really have a lot of parking there. Just to the west of it is a school that we're going to be working with as far as working up some sort of an agreement for any overflow parking we may have, and then vice versa for them as well.
Because I was going to say, it's not a lot of parking
No.
for if you're going to have soccer, and there's always a lot of people at those.
Yeah,
Parents and
and we
otherwise.
anticipate probably on the north of the park, probably they're utilizing a lot of street parking out there as well.
I also had a question on the National Fitness program that you were getting your grant on. As far as how is that implemented? I mean, is it something that they're pursuing? Are they going to be promoting it? Or are you just going to promote it, or how does that work?
So they have a working team that we're actually working with on it, and they've actually been very, very easy to work with. They have a very set of structure in place that we go through. I mean, everything from getting the grant, getting the approval from city council, and then establishing phases and that. Once we get time to start breaking it. So our obligation is that this year we have to buy the equipment, and then we will house it for a year, store it for a year, and then next year we will break ground and actually do the install. They have their own contractors that or general foreman, I should say, that they will send out to us on site to walk us through all of our prep work for concrete. It's up to us to pour the pad ourselves. But they're there hands-on to make sure that everything's up to their specs. And then they have their crew actually comes out of Utah. They have an install crew in Utah that's going to be actually probably the ones coming up to us to do the actual install of it. And then they are very excited about, once it's up and running, kind of putting a matrix to it to see how well it works in our city. They also encourage us to have a great big grand opening. They said a popular idea that they've had luck with in other cities is police versus firemen fitness competitions or stuff like that. So they've been really good to work with. We have monthly meetings with them just through Zoom, and make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do and they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, Chairman, a follow-up? A follow-up to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So so it sounds like you're trying to, at the end of it, get people, the police department people to try and use the facility. Are you guys, did you say you're the kind of the guinea pig for other locations around, or do they have these in place already?
For around our area, I believe we're probably going to have one of the big ones. It's my understanding Marsing may have one with their school. I never got a chance to go look at that one yet, but it's the police and fire department thing is more of like just a grand opening, kind of to show people what it can do and stuff like that. It's actually, we're excited for it in our town because it being centralized in town, we have our Bernie Fisher Park, which is one of our oldest parks, but it's right in the center of town. That park gets a lot of use right now for just yoga people that come together and just do their own yoga things. This would give them their own place to go do it and not have to be laying in the wet or grass or whatever. So it's we feel it's going to be a pretty popular attraction in our town.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Helms, did you have something you want to add? Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay, does anyone else have any questions? Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
This is exciting. I can't wait to see them.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Tour. We need a tour. Next on our new business, we have Meridian Parks and Recreation Adult Sports Update with Maggie Combs, our Recreation Coordinator.
Good afternoon, Council or Commission, sorry. Okay, so I've been at the City of Meridian, Maggie Combs, since 2019. So going into my 7th year of this, so it's been a lot of fun. So I'll just kind of go over the sports. If you have questions in between, feel free and stop me and ask questions as well. So going over our last year, we run our basketball program from November of the year through about March, so 24 through 25 for basketball last year, we can host about 44 basketball teams in a season. And that's just due to space, officials, and everything. So that's about our cap, and we hold that about every year. The photos that you're gonna see on these slides are their end of season championship shirts logos that they got. So just kind of something that when the champions win, this is what they were receiving on a t-shirt and everything. So our volleyball program, we run 3 seasons. We run a winter season. So last year's winter season, we hosted 143 teams, which is, we're actually up this year. So just for reference. And then our spring, we hosted 143. And then in fall, we hosted 145. So when we run our winter volleyball league, that runs the same time as our basketball league. So those 2 seasons are running together at the same time using our court spaces. And for our courts, we use the Meridian Home Court, we use Boys and Girls Club, and we partner with the schools. We use Heritage Middle, Willow Creek, Victory sometimes, because it's harder to get across town,
Yeah.
and those 3. So we actually expanded this year with Meridian Middle and are actually using both of their gyms too. So that's been a huge help and expansion and everything as well. We host a holiday classic tournament. This is a lot of fun. It's a 1-day holiday tournament that we raise funds for the Meridian Head Start program down the street, helping this year with 69 kids. We were able to raise a little over $7,000 to buy them some Christmas gifts. Those were the funds from the team entry fees, donations, the raffle prizes. A lot of the officials work for a free or a discounted rate. They donate their money right back. 18 of those kids were helped by other people. We've had donations of toothpaste and toothbrushes that were donated as well. These this year were our sponsors. And I have to give a shout out to Monica that works with us. She went out and she got all these sponsors. They donated different things from dinner gift certificates to actual like baskets, the pottery. Way with Clay had actual things so you could go and do a class with them. ICCU donated a cash donation and helped become a title sponsor of the event as well. So these things are the different raffle prizes that people could buy raffle tickets. And with Monica's help, we were able to actually transition it to using our Rec One online system that we use for like our park rentals and stuff, and use that system so they could come and buy a ticket for one of these prizes online prior and not actually be at the event and try to be entered in to win something to help support this cause. With our softball, we run a youth softball tournament Memorial Day weekend, which is a lot of fun. We run it out at Discovery Park and over at Settlers. It's a full weekend of youth, little kids, little girls playing softball, the majority of them being from the area. We do travel in some teams from Idaho Falls that come. Redmond, Oregon, we had a team from there this year. We've had teams come from different areas of Utah in the past, but this is a great weekend to give for the little kids to come out and play that we host for them. We are looking at different ways like to partner with, we partnered with NYB on like field prep this last year where they helped prep the fields over at Settlers and everything during the tournament so that we partnered together for that. And then this year we're looking to partner out at Discovery that one of the high schools softball teams would come out during the event and help with us prep. Our adult softball league, we run about 100 teams. We run 2 seasons. This is about our average. We were down a little bit this year in that, but that's just due to aging players, parents with kids, all of those fun things. Different programs around us have also popped up and everything, and people are playing closer to home. So definitely looking at different ways we can pivot the game and expand it for this year and next year's and years to come. Our senior softball league, that is the Del Drake Senior Wood Bat Softball League. It's for 60 plus men's league. It plays Monday nights, Tuesdays, and Thursday mornings. The morning league plays over at Settlers Park. They play from April through September in this league. and it's a draft league. It's amazing. So if you have time on a Monday or on a Tuesday or a Thursday, once it becomes a little bit warmer outside, I'd say go out, stop by, watch them. It's amazing. The average age is about 72 for this league, and they still play full-heartedly, 100% out. We have 237 players between those three leagues last year, which was a growth for their league. And some of those players play one night, some of them play two, and some actually play three. The oldest guy was in his 90s. And it's really cool. So I'd say if you have time, make a trip out. They start at 9 a.m. and they practice on their own throughout the winter as well. So they are diehards in the softball game.
That's awesome.
So some things new for 2026 and some challenges. We are adding a women's softball league this year for adults. It is going to run the months of June through August. So that's kind of when school gets out and before kind of right at when school gets back in, kind of help grow the women's game and try something new that we haven't done before. Giving them a home because it's been a request and we've got a little bit of field space that we can try to sneak it in between the other stuff that's going on and the youth that use the fields. Some of our challenges that we always kind of look to try to expand on is gym space. We are, for volleyball and our basketball leagues, we are pretty much at our cap. We can't add too much more without more courts or more staff and everything to help set them up. Officials, they are definitely always looking as well. So we are always looking for more officials for all sports, but that's definitely keeps it in that bubble and everything. So we're always, and then this year we're also looking for new ways to market the leagues. Like how can we get the word out that these are the leagues that we have going and just kind of get new clientele because not everybody can play forever. So kind of just looking at different ways that we can do that. So a couple of fun facts about our adult sports leagues. So our softball season, this last year, we had beautiful Mother Nature and she only made us reschedule about 3 nights of that. And they weren't even 3 full nights. So I bless her and what she did for us this last year, made my job easier. So I hopefully will have another season of Mother Nature liking us, which is very uncommon that we have that. In volleyball, during an average week, we run 70 to 80 games a week of volleyball. So it's a lot of games and a lot of people because each team is somewhere from 6+ people on the average and everything. 6 to 8 is about the average team. So all those people are going inside, out and out of our facilities, which is great. Any questions?
Thank you, Maggie. I actually have a question. So because you guys partner with schools and there's use on some of these courts, do you have some kind of an agreement where you guys help with maintaining their floor?
We have a cooperative use agreement. I'm going to ask Eric to talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So we've had this agreement with the school district for at least the 16 years I've been here. And it was probably done 18. We update it every couple of years, but yeah, we have a use agreement to where we get to use their facilities for free. And if they need stuff like shelters and different things, they get to use our shelters for free here periodically. But we also do is they actually get a discount on building fees. So when they build new schools and those types of things. So it's kind of it saves them a lot of money. It saves us a lot of money. So we just work together and do that. And the partnership's been great. So we use it not only for our gyms, but we use it for our school summer campsites as well.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
I was just thinking about when I'm looking at all these numbers, thinking, oh my gosh, that's so many people.
It is a lot of use. Yeah.
And even with the fields, I hear that Kiana is getting some new fields. Yes, just kidding. Does anybody have any comments?
I just had a couple of questions.
Okay, Member Roberts.
Thank you. Thanks, Maggie. Great presentation. On the basketball teams, I was just kind of curious because you said that's about 44 teams. And that's about the maximum that we can do. Do we have demand for more than that? Or is that kind of on par with demand?
It fluctuates from season to season, I would say. We have had waiting lists in the past. This
Yeah.
year, I think we're at 42 teams, 43 teams this year. So again, right in that ballpark.
Yeah.
We have a demand for more seasons of basketball, but we just don't have the space and or the officials currently at this time.
Right. Okay, okay, just curious about that. And then on the senior softball program, where do they typically play if we want to drop in and watch them?
So Tuesdays and Thursdays, they play out at Settlers Park.
Okay,
Monday nights, they're gonna actually, so they used to play out at Heritage, interesting fun fact. They used to play out at Heritage Park, or school. And then we moved them when we opened Discovery out to Discovery. And this year, we're actually gonna move over to Bear Creek due to their request. Because they're like, it's just a little bit closer to town and everything, as it's easier to get to for driving for them. So yeah.
okay, thanks. Well, I hope to stop by and take a look.
And hey Maggie, so the new community center, how much space will that be providing?
The gym will provide 2 nets for volleyball, 1 basketball court.
Okay.
So in a night with a volleyball, so 1 net of volleyball, we host 3 games, which is 6 teams.
Okay.
So,
That's
so 12
decent.
teams in a night can play.
It's more anyway, yes. Member Dennington?
Yes, thank you, and great presentation. Lots of great information, bringing us up to date on all. I had a question on the women's softball league that you were starting, and the mentioning of, or looking for, having a hard time putting the officials, finding officials. So are there ages that they have to be, or what does that
Yeah,
entail?
so our women's league, well, most of our leagues they have to be 18 to play in. The only thing that's not 18 that I host is volleyball. We do allow younger players of 14 and under to play, or 14 and up to play in our volleyball league. So with adult softball, it is 18 plus.
So a follow-up to, but on the officials that you're looking
Oh.
for, as far as their ages as well, are there age limitations for those?
I partner with BSUA is the acronym for the softball league that we partner with, and most of them are adults and they're 18 plus. Rarely do we have a youth that comes out and does the adult sports. I don't think they currently have anybody doing the adult leagues.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, Member Boa?
No question, just a comment. That's amazing. That's so many people. Who knew there were so many teams, and it must be successful. I don't play any sports, but given that so many people keep coming back year after year and you're able to keep it going, that's just remarkable and a testament to how well run it is.
Madam Chair, got a comment. Maggie does a great job of what she does, and that's obviously why the leagues keep growing, right? Back when I did adult sports way back in the day, I did kind of a calculation that, about 1,100 people a week visit our parks because of softball and those types of things. And the leagues have grown since then. So I don't even know what it is now, but at least 1,100 plus people visit our parks because of adult sports. And it kind of goes more than that, right? I mean, yes, the majority, there's a lot of people that are Meridian residents that play here, but they travel from Nampa, Caldwell, Cuna, Star, everywhere else to play in our leagues as well. And, those impacts that our leagues have also, people stop and get gas in Meridian. They go to the grocery store Meridian on their way home, those types of things. So it does help some of the impact for business too. But Maggie does a great job with what she does. Everybody loves her. So kudos to Maggie on that.
I agree. She's invaluable.
Thank you. Thank you, Commission.
Yes, thank you. Does anybody have anything else? Thank you so much for your presentation. It was awesome.
Thank
you. Okay, next. Our item on the agenda is Railwood Trail Pathway Project Update with Kim Warren, our Pathways Project Manager.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's nice to see you at the helm again, as much as we'll miss Dawn. Also, my voice is a little rough today, so I apologize for that. I know when I give updates, well, I'll just back up. I'm Kim Warren. I'm the Pathways Project Manager. I've been with the city just over 8 years, not quite as long as this project has. So I know I tend to sit over at the side and wave my arms and talk about these things more abstractly. So I hope this gives you a better idea of what this project actually is, and most importantly.
Can you, just because we have quite a few new members, could you tell them a little bit about your background? Is that She mentioned to
Oh,
ask you.
no, Madam Chair, I
You
don't
guys-
mind
I
that at
think
all.
You're amazing, so I think
Oh, thank you.
you should know.
Yeah, by education and training, I'm a landscape architect, which is a four-year degree, and you get a license to practice it. And so this job is landscape architecturally related in that I do some, well, I don't do much design, but I manage designers. I do some construction management. For pathways, I really don't do any landscape design. In fact, I laugh sometimes that I'm really more preoccupied with pavement and paving from one place to another. So maybe, that can change a little bit as the pathways grow more connected. But yeah, I've spent my life, or I've had a experience in private practice, but mostly in Parks and Recreation. So I like the impact Parks and Rec has. Is that enough? Hopefully not too much.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you. So Meridian's Rail with Trail pathway, in terms of where this is, it's really close to City Hall. So City Hall in the purple rectangle, and just west it's just a few blocks. Like we literally walk to these construction meetings. So it's close to City Hall. In terms of project scope, the dark pink line shows the alignment of this pathway. So it runs from roughly 3rd Street Northwest to 8th Street Northwest along the 9 Mile Drain, which is open, has a lot of vegetation. And then it kind of curves up to Broadway. So it's about 1/3 of a mile of new pathway. And it is probably important to say that it's rail adjacent. It's not actually rail with trail. It was named a long time ago and we've kept the name. It's a bit aspirational at this point. We do have a valley-wide goal of a rail with trail, but for now we are rail alongside trail. In terms of funding, this is funded primarily through federal grant funds, and they're administered by Compass, which is an area planning organization. They're just right here in Meridian. So the funds were applied for by my predecessor. I believe they were awarded in about 2016. Anyway, that's kind of an important year because we're in 2026 right now. And then LTAC, the Local Highway Technical Assistance Council, and they also help administer the funds. They provide some expertise, kind of in an oversight in terms of project, design and bidding. They also helped out with environmental impact assessment. I guess we didn't have to do any mitigation on this one. We stayed under thresholds, but also sometimes there are historical impacts to irrigation features. If you look at the one in the photo, that's actually the head gate for the Rutledge lateral. And so when I first heard, oh, really, an irrigation ditch is historic? I mean, it seems a little odd, but irrigation has been really key to Meridian as a city, when it first started and grew, and it still is. It's kind of the backbone of our pathway system. But some of these old structures are kind of interesting. And then, of course, we're on Nampa and Meridian Irrigation District easements for a lot of our systems. So they've been a great partner since the early 2000s, allowing us to share facilities for pathways through the Master Pathway Agreement. So the picture is a shot of just the pathway alignment looking west. It's kind of a before. So more difficult than getting money for projects tends to be getting permission to build them and essentially assembling an alignment or a series of easements that will give us a continuous route. So irrigation easements are a part of this project. They gave us a clear run. We had a hard time getting out onto Northwest 3rd Street. So Mike and I approached council several years ago, said we'd like to buy this property. That's what it looked like. It was a tear down, but it gave us a parcel at Northwest 3rd Street that helped us get out to complete our alignment. And then there was a middle section we were having a hard time getting access across, and explored the idea of a land trade with our neighbor to the west. They were a federally run Head Start program. But But in the end, it was an irrigation easement, kind of a bonus irrigation easement that we found. And we were able to pipe just a portion of the 9-mile drain, and that finally gave us a clear alignment after years of trying to put that together. So it's hard with a project this long, or, to a third of a mile, to get it all on one sheet. This is the east end. The light gray area just shows the pathway. We had an alignment for a while that was on the north side of this parcel and pretty much on the Rutledge lateral that we are piping as part of this project. But it was taking a really long time to get through. And we discovered, you might ask, why did we change the alignment so late in the project? And there was a bit of a hole in the map. Sometimes the county maps aren't absolutely current. So we found an easement that we thought was railroad property initially, and it turned out, you can see where the pathway heads to the south, and it's kind of close to it kind of veers down and then heads back up to that cul-de-sac looking element. The pathway there is on top of the 9-mile that we'll be putting in a pipe, at least a portion of it. In terms of schedule for this project, boy, I don't know that it just went on and on for various reasons. But we do, now that we're under construction, March 15th is a hard deadline for us because we're piping the Rutledge lateral and a portion of the 9-mile during the irrigation off-season. So when water's actually in those facilities, especially the Rutledge lateral, obviously we can't do anything or interfere with delivery of water. And then once that's done, and the contractor actually, for city reasons, wasn't able to get in there until a few weeks after anticipated. They've done a really good job. Like they're on track to get it done in time. The pipe that they're putting in, the concrete pipe, is 60-inch diameter pipe. I think that must be the outside diameter. And then we've got 48-inch diameter pipe for the Rutledge lateral. And that's a plastic that they actually brought a machine on site to weld the segments of pipe together. It's been, so not all of the pictures I'll show you with construction are very pretty right now, but it's been really interesting to watch the process of putting some of these irrigation waterways underground so we can use this area for pathway. Later in the spring and summer, we will finish, or probably this spring, it's looking like, depending on the weather, sooner than later. But after the irrigation features are done, we'll pave and do some limited site furnishings and seeding for restoration, just dry land grass. So here are some construction photos. On the left is that historic head gate for the Rutledge lateral. And then in the first during photo during construction, there's the 48-inch pipe. And what they'll do is lay the pipe in place, and then they come in and form a concrete, kind of like a giant junction box where the facilities sort of feed into and flow out of, which is really, looks like interesting and technical work, but you can see how large, since we have some workers in that second photo, and that one is actually facing back towards City Hall to the east. With the people in there, you can see how big the pipe is and just how big those boxes are. And then for the 9-Mile Creek, again, we're only putting a portion underground so we could get that alignment. But there is a confluence right at the beginning where a lot of different pipes come in. And so they'll be building a big junction box around that. This is looking west, but all of that will be backfilled and the pathway will go right on top of that. It almost looks like a robot type character laying down. And then they have roughed out grading for the rest of the alignment to the west for this project phase. So you can see there's a concrete box kind of a bit mid-distance in the right. And that's where the Rutledge lateral is underground and already backfilled. So yeah, these pictures are none too pretty right now. We had to take out a few trees just to make way for the irrigation features. The irrigation district does not like trees near their water, but it's making really great progress. The other thing, if you look back on the alignment towards City Hall, you can see how close it is to City Hall. Like I said, you could just walk over there. We have a lot of city employees who walk on the 5 Mile Creek pathway a bit northeast of City Hall, but it's further away. And they do that on their lunch hours. And so I think this could be another great asset for the city, for people who want to take a quick walk or get some exercise on their lunch hour, in addition to neighbors. And then we're becoming regionally a little more, we had to wait a while for this pathway, but as we've waited, some other things have happened with pedestrian and transportation elements that make us, we're going to better connect into the system, I think. And then in terms of project cost, we started a long time ago, so we did have to ask for more money. This gives just kind of a rounded off idea of the city's obligation. So the total project cost is 1.45 million. And then the city match ended up, sometimes it's lower, but ended up being 12.6%. So with federal projects, you design to a higher, I don't know if it's a higher standard, but they're a bit more involved. So they can be a little bit more expensive to design and construct. But to get a third of a mile of pathway for $184,000 match is really a great value for the city. It's required a bit of legwork, but we're excited. And then we do have future plans to continue the pathway west. So back to our vicinity map, you can see where City Hall is. The blue star is that lot on 3rd Street that's just vacant now. We won't improve it with this project, but at some point that'll be a natural place to put a trailhead. And then I talked about the regional context. I have the on Linder Road, that green highlighted pathway is I don't know if Chris is still here, but we talked about, I think we call it the Eagle Island route at the moment, but the idea that along Linder Road, you could get from Eagle to Cuna. So really starting to enhance that as a pedestrian spine, on the side of the vehicular roadway. So the orangey red area is our current project scope. And then we have plans to go all the way west to Linder. So now that Linder Road is crossing the interstate with pedestrian facilities, and we're excited to get to Linder. And I think it will, provide a bit more connectivity and relevance for this pathway, which for a while was just kind of sitting out on its own. So I mentioned the future trailhead. Oh, and I should say, when we finish this, there's some ACHD right-of-way improvements we're going to request. There's a sidewalk on 3rd Street up to Broadway, and then we'd meet the crossing right out here at the west of City Hall. So that makes a mile of connected pedestrian facilities. Ultimately, we'll ask ACHD to do some of those improvements. And here's a little bit more information, including a sketch for the trailhead area. You can see there's a small parking lot proposed. We did talk to the Friends of Children and Family organization who neighbors us to the west, just west of the parking lot. And we may work out an arrangement to allow them to pull through. They tend to have bus traffic that would be better served if they could pull through, and then maybe share some parking because they would be using that parking at pretty different hours from trailhead hours. That's kind of in the future. But otherwise, we're just looking at a landscaped area with, a bit of paved pedestrian access, some plantings. We did go through, we talked about a restroom in the future. That'll be way in the future, but some minor site furnishings and identification signage. So in terms of timing for continuing the pathway, we're feeling like we have some good momentum. Now this is happening finally. And so in the fiscal year 2027, we plan to ask for money to do some design engineering and obtain the rest of the right-of-way. We don't typically pay too much for right-of-way, but that can take, or the easements, that can take quite, some time. So, and then in the next budget year, 2028, we would request money to construct the remaining, it's about a half mile. A lot of that, or a portion of that, we already do have permission to cross. And then the trailhead would be a bit further out. but an important addition to the system.
Kim,
And
was that the parcel that you guys purchased to get, sorry?
yes,
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Sorry.
that's the parcel that we bought with the old ramshackle house and tore that down and smoothed it out. So it'll be just kind of, graded flat and seeded, and it will be pretty much just a pathway coming out onto Northwest Third now. But we have plans to make it into a trailhead.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I wanted to leave you with, this is another picture of the existing 9 Mile Creek looking to the west. The pathway the majority of the 9 Mile Creek will stay on the surface. That's generally a requirement. We got a special permission to pipe part of it to get this project through, but we like the habitat, the wildlife, the vegetation, just the general enrichment of having that alongside a pathway. So the pathway where you see the dirt ruts, where there's an irrigation access road, that's where the pathway will go. So I just wanted to leave you with a nicer image that wasn't all construction and pipes, even though I think those are really cool. So I would now stand for any questions.
Thank you, Kim. When did this start? I think Kent Goldthorpe maybe was, am I remembering right? Like he was working on this and he went to the ACHD commission like 2014.
Could be.
So I remember looking easily at 11 or 12 years at least.
It's been 10 to 12 years. It's been on life support for many of those years.
Yeah, it was just
It's been
freezing.
dead. We've tried to kill it and couldn't.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
because
sure.
it seemed as if there was no way it was going to happen.
Yeah.
We were like, all right, just forget it. Give the money, we're done. And we couldn't do that, but here we are. So
Well,
it worked
when
out
I'm-
really well.
When I'm seeing this, I'm thinking, I can't believe we're having this presented. This is really happening. So for those of you that don't know, they had to go basically, as Kim was saying, like obtain right away behind all these properties. And there's also the railroad, right? Didn't you have to start with that one? Yeah.
Madam Chair, we don't have any sort of relationship or permission from the railroad. So we were steering clear of the railroad, and the parcel that the part of the pathway is on now, we thought was railroad
And that's
owned, and it turned out it was an irrigation easement. Sometimes the maps just aren't that current.
Oh, cool.
And usually the irrigation properties are easy to identify.
Yeah.
The other thing that's kind of frustrating is this is land behind fence lines. It's on an irrigation easement. Really, the only thing you can build on it is a pathway.
Right.
And yet people own to the middle of the creek. So you have to piece it together bit by bit. And some people are, or, the near neighbor to the west would have been more than willing, but they were federally funded and they weren't able to, they didn't have much say over what happened to their property without running it up the chain. So,
Yeah.
but yes, it's been a very long time. And like Mike said, there were moments where, do we get more money? Do we give the money back? And, but yeah, Compass has been really great.
We
Yeah.
tried to give it back more than once.
More than once.
It was like, we're done. We got a lot of other things going and
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you've broken ground now. Like,
Yeah.
congratulations. This is a huge deal.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal.
Exciting.
Just in case you guys aren't aware. But
I'm just trying to decide
Member
whether or
Helms.
not you're really a good negotiator or what was the federal government's interest in this? I know they help out with some of these projects, but you guys got a heck of we got a heck of a deal there.
Oh, it is, Madam Chair and Commissioner Helms. Compass administers these funds. So they're the Metropolitan Planning Organization, and they will, send emails saying these funds are available, or as they get allocated federally, they are pretty proactive in trying to find projects. So there's a decent amount of money out there. Again, we had asked for it before we really had a clear route through, so that made it tricky for us. Compass has been really patient. And then, of course, over however many years it's been since we made our first ask, property values have gone up, prices have gone up, time is money in that sense. So we did, when we weren't trying to give the money back, we were asking for more. And they've made that work too, so. Yeah, so it's
Well,
largely on them, I
congratulations.
think.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
it's,
say.
but it's a great deal. I mean, it required a bit more, but I think it's a value for the city for
Looking
sure.
forward to see it when it's done.
Yeah, we'll put it on our pathway
Ribbon cutting.
for
Bring my
next
bike
time
up
we
with
have
me.
one. Yeah.
To cut a ribbon. Remember, Bubba?
Can you go back a couple slides to the, where the map?
Let's see, maybe.
Yes, this one. Okay, so as it stands now, though, you're finishing it this summer?
Yeah,
The pavement? Okay, so as it stands now, when you get to the end of the orange, is it just a dead end or is
Oh,
there like a way to get somewhere else?
let's see, Commissioner
my
Bobo, let
forever
me
pet
go
peeve of,
back
like,
a little bit.
Pathways that end and they're
Right.
hard to use.
This one actually does, it heads back up to Broadway. So at the left side of the graphic where that pink arrow goes up.
Okay.
So we are doing some improvements at Broadway, like curb cuts, and there's a little bit of lighting and some signs, whatever ACHD requires. So we will have a route, sort of an accessible route from pavement to pavement. It won't be very finished at the east end, but it won't just go nowhere. And then it's from that elbow at the far left that we will continue on, well, pretty much the same alignment and head all the way out to Linder
Okay,
once we put that together. But
that works. And then you're expecting by 2028, it'll go all the way to Linder?
I wouldn't say it with
Hoping?
quite that much confidence because it does depend on, being able to get a hold of people and negotiate these easements, but we really only need a couple. Some are kind of, there's a strategy called just sort of waiting things out, I've learned. And so, one of the HOAs that would have needed to give us permission, they're now defunct. And so I think after a certain period of time, things will can be made more available, just because that's what happens. So we still need to obtain some easements, but we're hopeful we could do that enough that we would design and then probably wouldn't ask for the money in 28 if we didn't feel pretty certain that we had those permissions. But that would be the goal, to continue on and just, get nearly a mile of completed pathway.
Because this looks like a really nice, flat, easy ride, fun place to
It
walk your
is.
dog and ride your bike.
Yeah, there's not a lot of shade, but it's flat and it's
Good
kind of close to
exercise spot.
things. Yep.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see
too.
it. I've been hearing about this ever since I started on the
Gosh,
commission, so I'm
I know.
glad that it's finally coming around.
Tell me about it.
It's amazing.
So anything else?
I just have a quick comment, if I may. I'm super exciting that it's going to happen this year. I just hope that maybe we can push on the trailhead a little bit faster. 5 to 10 years seems, I don't know. I'm just thinking, it's a bit remote off to the west. And if you had the trail there, it might bring more identity and more of a welcoming sense to it. And might, I guess, build momentum for use. So hopefully we can push on that a little bit, make it a
Yeah.
higher priority.
Madam Chair and Commissioner Roberts, the landscape architect in me totally agrees with that. And I know normally we will develop sites. We don't just green them up, but
Yeah.
we wouldn't do a restroom right away, but it may be to the benefit of the site to make it look more like
Yeah.
a property that people care about. Mike, you might have something to say about that.
Yeah, Madam Chair, and Mandy, that's a great point. And so one of the things that it might drive that is ACHD's timing on Third Street improvements, sidewalks, and doing a cul-de-sac at the end. Otherwise, we have to do it. So you end up with this 10-car parking lot that costs triple what it should cost because we're doing all these off-site improvements. So we're kind of thinking that we're putting that request in this year and let that percolate a little bit and then see where it goes. I mean, if it absolutely just never materializes, then we'll go to Plan B. But in a perfect world, they would come in and do the sidewalks, build a cul-de-sac at the end of Third, and then give us a driveway apron. And then we would do the little parking lot and amenities and be good to go.
And then, yes, and Madam Chair and Commissioner Roberts, we did try to use these funds to develop a trailhead, even maybe more minor, but something. And these funds did not apply to things like parking. So We thought about it, we tried, and then we went back to just the pathway, and in part because ACHD does, if we're going to develop that site, they want to see a full frontage improvement. And I don't disagree, but we just weren't funded to do that. So yeah, we tried, but we will keep trying.
Sounds like a new 2027 all commission goals. I don't know if you guys remember doing this at the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
Add that to the list. Yeah.
Have some questions,
Yes,
Madam Chair.
Member Dennington.
I have a few questions. The first question was, is this the extension to Linder, is that all on that 9 Mile Creek? Is that the whole thing all the way, 9 Mile Creek goes all the way to Linder? Does it go any further? Does it stop there? 9 Mile Creek, I guess, that's one thing. I wondered about, would it ever continue, or is the possibility of continuing all the way to 10 Mile Road? From Linder to 10 Mile. And then I wondered about the neighbors. Did you get input from them? And they're all excited about having this in their backyard,
Mhm.
literally?
Madam Chair and Commissioner Dennington, the 9 Mile Creek actually angles up like our pathway does this phase to Broadway. So it heads north. So the future pathway would head straight west to Linder, not really along the creek. But it would look similar, just minus that. And I'm remembering neighbors. We did talk extensively with the Friends of Children and Families Institution, which is the Head Start program next door. And they were so great, and they were excited, and they had property they didn't need, and we were going to trade it. And then we ended up finding this other quicker way through. But I think they're excited about it, and we've talked about how to work with them and have some sort of maybe a shared use agreement. I mean, we're not going to develop their parking, but it makes sense to, just like with some of the programs, Maggie raises money for tournaments to buy Christmas gifts for Boys and Girls Club kids. I mean, like, we work with these organizations. So we do know them. We know the neighbor across the street. We haven't done anything very formal. There aren't very many neighbors. Like, the main neighbor is the Union Pacific. We will do some outreach probably with neighbors to the west. And then your other question, remind me?
Extending to 10 Mile Road?
Yes. Gosh, that is one part of the map that I can't really picture. My feeling is I would have to look at the map and get back to you. I can't picture it.
Because I was thinking in terms of the fact that, I don't know if I know I mentioned this to you before, because there's going to be that Property Gateway or company that's putting in, they're going to be developing that east-north corner of 10 Mile and Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
And in there, they actually there's an acre of land that at this point in time is set aside for a train stop, which I'm really excited about, and I would like to have that happen, and then actual access. So it'd be a matter of having to come, when you came across Linder, you'd have to go to the south of the rails on that end and then go down that way. So I just think it'd be really cool to continue and then even have that, because they can get to that center and there's all kinds of stuff in the area, so.
Madam Chair, Kim.
Go ahead.
So there is so when we go west and go to Linder Road, the rebuild of Linder Road is going to have 10-foot sidewalks on both sides. So there'll be pathways on detached pathways on both sides of the road.
Okay.
And then as you go a little north, there'll be a crossing up that a little bit farther north, and then over into, you'd have to go south. So there'd be a 10-foot sidewalk, go south, and then and then past Franklin, and then cross. You can see on the map where in the lower left-hand corner, there's some yellow dots right there. There is going to be a pedestrian hybrid beacon crosswalk right there. And then pathway that'll take you into the 10 Mile area, into the stores and on that way.
And then,
Thank you.
Madam Chair and Commissioner Dennington, there is the regional plan overall to continue that rail with trail pathway. That's further out in our trailhead by a long shot. But yes, there's that plan to head west, I guess, the rail with trail regional pathway, whenever that does happen. But in the meantime, if you look on this map, if you took where the green highlight is on Linder, if you went from the railroad track south along that solid green line, and then off the very far corner, there's that kind of little green leg that comes in, that's starting to get into the 10-mile crossing and 10-mile area that's developed. There's a lot of new pathway over there. So it really does help our connectivity. Yeah, and your comment on the transit station is noted. And I know there's also a bus facility at the 10-mile crossing area too. So that's another good thing to connect into.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have any more questions? No? Okay, thank you, Kim. Appreciate it. Okay, we have no old business or workshops. So we have staff reports, which
I'll go first.
go
Madam
for it,
Chair.
Mike.
So roadway projects, Linder Road, the widening project is going out to bid here in about a month. So we're actively involved in that because there's landscaping in the center medians. And Cassandra has some artwork that goes in there as well. So we have landscaping in the medians and also in the buffer strip between the curb and gutter and the 10-foot wide sidewalks that we just talked about. So that's kind of on our radar. U-Stick Road, if anybody's tried to travel west on U-Stick Road, it's almost impossible. Well, part of it is it's closed and part of it's open. So we will have landscaping in that 3-mile corridor. And Lakeview's got a couple things going on. We're grading the pond right now, and our meeting to discuss the new signage and logos got bumped. There was some schedule conflicts, so we're going to meet on the 17th. And believe it or not, we're starting to work on our budgets for next year. So March is a big base budget. Look at all the divisions and start that whole process. Seems like we just did it. And it's like we're working on budgets that'll be fiscal year 27, which starts October 1st in 2026. So a little ways out, but we're starting to put all that together. And I will stand for questions.
That's awesome. Anybody have any questions for Mike? Yes, Member Holmes.
Linder, when would construction start on that? Did you?
Supposed to be later this year or this summer.
There's a lot of that going on. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
There's always construction. U-Stick, poor U-Stick.
All right.
Garrett, did you want to
Yeah.
give us an update?
Really what we've been doing is a lot of community center stuff. Like Shelley mentioned, next Thursday at 1:30, we're having the groundbreaking out there at Settlers Park. So we're pretty excited about that. But there's a lot of logistics that go behind all of that stuff, right? So working on that. Other things we've been doing, we're, like Shelley mentioned again, hiring. Shelley kind of stole a lot of my thunder here. Hiring for Lakeview Pool, summer camps, and Renee's event specialist, which was Jenna Shop, that position is open. Jenna has left us. She's had 2 little ones at home. So we're refilling that position. So if you know any event specialist people or event people, please let them know about the job opening. It's open right now. And like Mike said, we're doing a lot of budget stuff. So on top of that, home court is rocking with pickleball and volleyball and basketball in the evenings. Still encourage everybody to stop by there and see what's going on. It is always jam-packed and a lot of pickleball happening, as well as summer classes and things, so, or different community education classes. With events, you guys may or may not have heard that I went to council last Tuesday, so a week ago, and council approved a $40,000 budget amendment to increase our fireworks budget. So that'll be exciting to kind of celebrate the America 250 initiative that's nationwide. So Budget went from $14,000-ish for aerials to $54,000. So we're excited about that. And Renee is rocking on that and already planning for it. And she's doing a really good job of not acting stressed out because her right-hand person is still waiting to be filled. But yeah, with that, I'll stand for questions.
Exciting. Anybody have any questions for Garrett? Okay, thank you. Thank you for filling in spot for Rachel.
Yeah, Mike and I are crushing it over here. We're doing a really good job. So
Yeah,
we're just like the B team, almost a C team, but yeah.
I'd say A-.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's hard to match what Rachel does. So
It is. It's impossible.
Definitely backups,
You're doing pretty
not starters.
Kim, did you want anything else to update or were you good with the rails trails?
Thanks, Madam Chair. I don't know, maybe you're tired of listening to me talk.
No, never.
We are working, we're getting ready to start the site work at the 5 Mile Creek Trail Hub on 10 Mile Road.
Okay.
The new restroom.
Oh.
They had told us it's not going to be done until May. And then Mike, maybe you have a little more weight than you think, but said, well, sooner would be better. And then they called recently and said, oh, we'll have it in March. And I said, we're not ready. We're planning on May. So that's a little silly, but so we're looking at moving that date up to the end of April. Still need to confirm. And then wrapping up final punch list items on new pathway west of McDermott under State Highway 16. So that's pretty well buttoned up. And then the Pathways Master Plan, I've been preoccupied with other things, but we're owed a draft on that. So soon we'll be sharing that for some input from you all. I think that's, and then lots of plans to review this time of year.
Thank you. Let me put you on the spot. I know there's a lot of things that you guys all do, so. Any questions for Kim? No? Okay, well, anything else for anybody? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion that we're going to adjourn now.
Okay, could I get a second? Okay, Madam Roberts made the motion and member Muscolo. I'm gonna have to write it so that I can understand my bubonics. All in favor? Okay, meeting is adjourned. Our next meeting is Wednesday, March 11th. At 4, I had to put that in my, I should keep remembering 4. Oh yeah, by the way. Hi. What's that? Well, that's what I'm like, so